Welcome back to my mental health and crime channel. My name is Huda London. I'm a licensed cognitive behavior therapist and a licensed mental health counselor. This is the case of the Idaho 4. May the 4 victims rest in peace. Condolence to the families. May the correct justice be served. It's 2 years and 3 months since this horrific tragedy happened. I wish these 4 young people were with us here today, but unfortunately, their life was cut too short. I know that we all are here working active on this case, trying to find out what actually happened and who did these horrific crimes, because we want the correct justice to be served. I'm going to start making episodes to explain the theories that I personally believe, in my opinion only, what could have taken place. If you go back to my channel from the very beginning of this case, I've personally said that I believe Xana and Ethan were deleted between 2:10, 2:15, up to 2:30. Or from 2 to 2:30. Something happened to the couple at the Sigma Chi Fraternity. There was a party that night, and there was a fight. Maddie and Kaylee were at the corner club. DM and BF came home at 1 o'clock, according to the police. I will try and break down what I believe could have happened. And this is for educational purpose only. This is strictly my opinion.
My sources, and I've been told that there were differences in the way that the victims were killed. Some were more severe than the other. And this week we heard the target attack walk back and then reverse it back to it being a target attack. What can you tell us about the targeted attack?
They have told us that it was targeted, but they told us they can't tell who. We asked specifically, and they said, we'll try to get that information to you. And they got back to us a day or so later, and they said, we're sorry, we can't give you that information. But then a day later, we saw in the news that it was not targeted, or they think the whole house was targeted. But
I'll cut to the chase.
Yeah.
Their means of death don't match.
Maddie's
They don't.
and Kaylee's cause of death, it does not match based on the autopsy report.
They don't match.
Would indicate that one of them.
He doesn't have to
may
go
have
up
been
the
targeted.
steps. Let's stop playing games, guys. I need somebody to step up and be an alpha. Be somebody to be a leader. Don't make me do it. I don't want to do it. He doesn't have to go up those steps. Their points of damage don't match. I'm just gonna say it. Wasn't leaked to me. I earned that. I paid for that funeral. I paid for that. It's my right. You ain't taking that from me.
calm down.
If you don't want to say nothing, that's your bet. But don't say I'm leaking anything. I paid that bill. Sent my daughter to college to get an education. She came back in a box, and I can speak on that.
I was told from sources that are close to an investigation, because there was a lot of roommates in there. And this was horrific for those roommates that were there as well.
Yeah, absolutely.
The preservation of the scene. Witnesses tell me that it may have well been preserved because the phone was passed around between one of the fraternity members and the girls. One of them unfortunately witnessed the death, the body there. Can you confirm that?
Oh, we cannot actually.
This new information that we confirmed just before the special today. The new information is that Kaylee Gonzalez's injuries were significantly more brutal. That is what I can say. Significantly more brutal than her best friend Maddie's injuries. What do you make of that new piece of information, Ashley?
Well, it's astounding, for one, because this is the first time, Brian, that you've been able to get the kind of information that helps us to perhaps try to figure out why this happened. Not saying this is definitive, but it certainly is one additional clue as to whether perhaps Kaylee might have been the target. But you got more information that makes it almost more complicated, and that is where the girls were found. So walk us through what you discovered today, because many of us didn't know which room when Kaylee's father said they were found in the same room and in the same bed.
Yeah, let me show you, Ashley. I want to take you up the hill here and get you oriented. This is the front of the house. There's now private security out front. Because it's going and it's very, very slippery. But we're going to walk you up to the back of the house. No windows on the side of the house. You've got the front door obviously on the front, which we know has the coded lock. On the back of the house, though, is where the bedrooms are. Confirmed that key injuries.
Brian, I think we just lost your mic, and I'm not sure. There, no, you're back. You're back. Can you just repeat what you said in the last 10 seconds? Your mic went dead.
Yeah, I'm sorry. I was explaining that we confirmed that Kaylee's injuries were more significantly brutal than Maddie's. We've also confirmed that they were on the third floor. I'm going to have Mo show you. Third floor here, where not easy access. You've got the balcony. There's a slider. You can't easily jump up there. So what this has us wondering, Ashley, and I want you to kind of walk through this with me. If Kaylee's injuries were the most severe up on the third floor, and there's no way out of the third floor, would that mean the killer specifically targeted the third floor? Because it doesn't make any sense. Why would the killer go up to a floor where there would not be an easy exit for him? What do you make of that, Ashley?
Well, it's significant in that we still don't know where the killings began. Did they begin on the second floor where Xana Kernodle's room was? And of course, Ethan had been staying over that night. And we now know that that room was the room on the far side of the house. So not the side of the house that you're on right now, on the other side of the house at the front of the house. That's Xana and Ethan's. And then did they progress to the third floor? And while your mic was cutting out, I think the key piece of information that the audience couldn't hear was which room upstairs on the third floor the girls were actually found in. That before now, we only knew they were found together, but we didn't know in Maddie's room or in Kaylee's room. And so as we look at the third floor map right there, bedroom E is Maddie's bedroom, and it looks out the back of the house, and bedroom F is Kaylee's bedroom, and it looks out the front, but also the back where the slider is. So what did you discover about which room? Maddie's room on the left or Kaylee's room on the right?
That's right. We've confirmed that they were in Maddie's room, which is also interesting. That's something that we did not know. So Kaylee's injuries were significantly more brutal, but they were sleeping together in Maddie's room. So
I've always believed it was two separate incidents. Xana and Ethan were targeted by the frats, in my humble opinion. I've always stood with this belief because the more I dig into this case, and it's been over 2 years and 2 months, it's clear to see that the fraternity boys, the sorority girls, were all at the grub truck, watching pictures, yelling out Xana's name, and I personally believe it has something to do with them, especially watching Saeed, watching those crime pictures, in my opinion, at the grub truck. Sorry, at Banfield. The three boys in Banfield did not look like they were intoxicated. They looked like more like that they were anxious and nervous, and they came from Kings Road. That's what I believe. The timelines have been changed, in my opinion. I personally believe everything happened between 2:10 right up to 3:16. The figures are running at 3:12. Maddie and Kaylee made those calls to Jack D. And right after those calls, the last call was at 2:52. And 2:54, we hear a female yelling, "Stop it! Stop!" But we don't know where that screaming came from. I personally believe that Kaylee was sleeping in her room. Because if you look at the affidavit, DM clearly says that she heard Kaylee playing with her dog. And then she heard Kaylee saying, "I think somebody's here." So Kaylee was in her room. Kaylee must have heard somebody and went to Maddie's room. And that's how they unalived Kaylee too. Kaylee was found in the sitting position. Before her father and mother said that, I showed you Saeed watching a female sitting on a bed, kind of kneeling, in the kneeling position, kind of sliding her back towards the wall, if that makes sense. She's kneeling towards the wall. And I've always said that it was Kaylee. Because if you zoom into the pictures, you can see the hairstyle. It wasn't Maddie. So I want to know how Saeed, Jovito, and the grub truck people got those pictures. Wasn't it worth checking? All these people were around 1122 Kings Road. We saw many figures, 4 figures if not more, running at 3:14. Sorry, 3:12. I've always said that I believe all 4 of the victims were targets, unfortunately, but by separate people. It's not all the same suspects. Whoever came for the couple had beef with them, like the 4chan says, in my opinion. They had brewing beef going on against Xana, Ethan, and Maddie. They said clearly that they weren't interested in harming Kaylee. But I personally believe Kaylee and Maddie were targets. And the motives has to do more with the group of people they were hanging with at the corner club. The Jacks, Adam, etc. I've shown you all these pictures from the very first time I found them. And that was in the beginning of the case. When I saw this picture in the beginning of the case, if you look at the right-hand side upstairs, it looks like there's someone sitting in the sitting position. I hate to say, it looks like there's something, red liquid or something, on the bed. I never understood it was a bed till Kaylee's parents told us that the girls were found at the same bed. Although these pictures are blurry, they're worth looking at. Now look at the below picture. You see someone with a mask. Where did Saeed get all these pictures from? Was it Snapchat, group chat, Geo Snapchat? Where were they sending these pictures? And who got these pictures? Pay attention to the person downstairs with the mask. Could it have been Hoodie Guy? Could it have been BK? Who is this person? That's how I knew Kaylee was found in the sitting position. I could be wrong, but that looks like a female. That looks like Kaylee for me. May she rest in peace. I just want the correct justice. And now that we see what's happening in court, it is possible that Brian Koberger did it. And it's possible that he didn't. But I always say, if Brian did it, he didn't do it by himself. So I want to know, who's this man with the mask? Saeed is from the Frats, if I'm not wrong. He said he lives in Taylor Avenue. The young boys that are in Banfield, Saeed came to distract the cops. That's what I believe. He had no reason being there. Why would you go towards cops, towards the police and say, what's up? Very strange behavior. I'm trying to make sense of these pictures. This is what Saeed is watching. You can see the person with the mask. You can see two eyes. I want to know where he got these pictures from. I apologize because the pictures are blurry. But what is he watching? This looks like a girl with black hair, long hair. Were they watching these pictures live? Could they have had cameras, hidden cameras, inside the house? The tripod from Illinois said that they recorded this black truck, a black truck actually, parked in front of 1122 Kings Road, and a female running hysterically from the sliding door downwards. That was 2 a.m. Who's driving this black truck? Is it DM's truck? Or is it the truck Jack.S got off when he came to collect his dog? I believe this is all connected. This black truck is very important. The white Hyundai Elantra is important too. And Jack.S white pickup is important too. So if Ethan was seen at the Sigma Chi around 2:10 to 2:15, did someone follow them home? This was sent to News Nation, I think. This was one of the earlier posts. It says that Jack Showalter lives right next to the girls. And it says that the girls got him kicked out from the corner club that night. I've been trying to put up all these small articles so that I can make sense of what could have happened. And that is the reason I believe that the frats are involved, Hoodie Guy, Jack Showalter is involved, and possibly many more. And the Sigma Chi fraternity boys, some of them. There was a fight there that night. So I expect something had to have happened with the couple at the Sigma Chi. But now, when we look at Maddie and Kaylee, we have John Showalter, who's the neighbor, who's a hunter, who's a champion junior wrestler. He has K-bars, he's taking pictures with K-bars and large knives. He got kicked out of the fraternity because allegedly Ethan reported him for harassments. So that is motives and targets with Showalter. The Sigma Chi fraternity boy, like the Davids, they had their own agenda because they had beef with the couple. So those are the motives. Targets were all four. I don't believe anyone was collateral damage. Because if it was one person who just came to finish or do whatever evil work the person was doing, that person wouldn't have been bold enough to come to a house with 6 people and a dog. The back door lights had the Christmas lights on, so it wasn't dark. It's not like this house was isolated up in the hills by itself. This was an off-campus house, but there were many blocks and nearby houses around it. So whoever took the chance and the risk to unalive 4 innocent people were people they knew. It was people they were having beef with. I don't think the 4 students, the 4 victims, knew that it'll end up to them losing their lives. I believe Xana must have sensed something. That's why she asked her father to fix her locks. Why would you ask your father to fix your locks? Did someone break into the locks? Was somebody threatening Xana? Did she feel unsafe? And I'm sure the locks Xana was getting fixed was her room locks, because you can't get the outside main door fixed without the permission of the landlord. At least that's how it works in the UK, and I'm definitely sure it's the same everywhere. Because there's somebody who owns the property. And there are 6 roommates who live with you, so you can't go around changing the main door. Wonder if Xana was scared of DM or DM's friends. The reason I say that is because DM and Xana share the same floor. So, Hoodie Guy has motives. He's a skilled hunter. He lives nearby. He was the last person to see the girls leaving. In fact, they ditched him and left. And it looked like Kaylee was taking a picture of him and the guys near him. Maddie was telling Jovito and Showalter to F off Mister. That was on Inside Edition. You can see that and hear that clearly. So I don't understand why people believe that Showalter was escorting the girls and looking after the girls. You don't go around ditching somebody who's looking after you. That person is trying to keep you safe. It's because we have to remember this post. The girls got Showalter kicked out. And he snapped. And the couple got him kicked out of Eaton's frat. So I don't think it's this Eaton. I don't know which Eaton, if it's Eaton Chapin or if it's another Eaton. Because I know for a fact that Jack Showalter was in Delta Tau Delt. He wasn't at the Sigma Chi. So whoever wrote this got it all right, but I don't think the frat is right. Point being, he got kicked out of the frat for harassing females. He actually even passed a threat that night when they're walking from the corner club to the grub truck. He said, "You know we're going to get you for that, Maddie." Why would somebody say that? That ain't a joke. But I don't think the girls understood how serious it was, because Maddie was intoxicated. May she rest in peace. I wouldn't be surprised if they put something in Maddie's drink. At least I could see number 9 putting something in Maddie's mouth. We never ever heard of Maddie yelling or defending herself. And I believe there's a reason for that. Number 9 clearly said to his friend, he showed him the hand gesture, that I'm going to put her to sleep. When you hold your 2 hands and put it right under your face near your ear, like putting someone out in a knockout. So remember, Showalter got kicked out of the corner club and he got kicked out of his frat. So you can imagine what he felt. I'm sure isolated from his friends, maybe bullied, maybe teased. And he could have snapped. He could have snapped. Because when he left the grub truck, he was upset, you could see. He was the only one that left town, allegedly, and went to Boise, Idaho. He drove 5.5 hours to his parents' cabin. Did they ever check him? Did they take DNA of him? Let's not forget, 3 unidentified male DNAs were found inside and outside 1122 Kings Road. Why didn't they take the DNA of all the people who were roaming around, like the 3 boys at Banfield, Saeed, the boys in the grub truck? So Showalter definitely had motives and targets. And you have the Sigma Chi. And I don't think it stops there. It doesn't stop there because there are more people involved. And I will be making a couple of parts to explain why I believe those people are involved. And I'll try my best to come with as much as evidence that I can. I'm just showing you all articles from the beginning of this case, what people were writing on social media. And believe me, some of them were true because they're coming from the college, like this one. Replying to News Nation and Brian Enton, girl's house are circled in green. I think she means blue. Jack Showalter, his apartment is the red door. Okay, it's the right underneath the red spot. Okay, and then we see the girl's house. So they literally live next to each other. Jack Showalter, his apartment is the red dot. Guessing Kaylee was rude to him at the bar. Got him kicked out. And he snapped. Sorry guys. Still have a cold, flu. So that got him kicked out of the frat. This case is solved. So the person who's giving us this information is trying to tell News Nation, this case is solved. The person you're searching for is Jack Showalter. He had motives and he had targets. But I don't personally believe it's autopsy. I personally believe Showalter is involved, allegedly. But the Sigma Chi fraternity boys, the Davids, and the friends, I will make a proper clip within a week. And it'll blow your mind, things I found. It is really shocking. But now I've at least shown you all this post, and I'm just giving you all my theory that I agree 110% with this post. And I agree with the Sigma Chi fraternity theory. I know it's hard to prove it because we don't have the evidence, but it's logic. It makes sense, and it really makes sense for me. After watching all the behaviors, the pictures they were watching, the people in the mask, I can clearly see who the guy as well. And I have a couple of more. I'm just getting everything ready with backup so that I don't get heat about it. If he lives so close to them, it wouldn't be far-fetched to think that he came after them. If he snapped, like the person is saying in this article to News Nation, I can imagine what could have happened, because this is a professional hunter. These people throw axes for fun, axe throwers. We've seen him mutilating animals. So the theory makes sense to me. This was an article from somebody who was at the Corner Club. They said that it's a fact that Hoodie Guy had been acting weird at the bar, and the girls had complained as he was creeping them out. My niece was with them and her roommates, along with other sorority sisters, that evening at the bar. That's the corner bar. He had creeped the girls out that much to make a complaint. They made a complaint and they got him kicked out. Shocking behavior, if you ask me. He then went to the food truck and made them uncomfortable. And how in the video he leaves abruptly when the right comes is disturbing. I totally agree with this person. So if this person was at the grub truck or the niece was in the grub truck, they would know more than we know. Where was John, Jack, Roger, Shawalty that night? Could he have snapped and gone after the girls is my question. Let me know in the comment channel. This is all for education purpose. I'm not accusing anyone, but these are strictly my theories. Have a lovely weekend.